Let us begin with literary analysis of prescribed prose text. This is a very important topic in literature, in English. It appears in your exams every single year. By the end of this lesson, you will understand how to analyze a prose text, including plot, character, setting, theme, style, and literary devices, using a sample analysis, and how to answer exam questions. For this lesson, we will use Chinua Achebe's Things Fall Apart as our sample text. Take your notes. Let us go. First, let me give you background on Things Fall Apart. Chinua Achebe wrote Things Fall Apart in 1958. It is the most widely read African novel. It has been translated into over 50 languages. The novel is set in Nigeria during the late 19th century. It depicts Igbo society before and after the arrival of European colonizers. The title comes from a poem by W.B. Yeats, The Second Coming. The poem speaks of things falling apart when the center cannot hold. Achebe uses this phrase to describe the destruction of Igbo society. Now let me explain the plot of Things Fall Apart. The plot follows the life of Okonkwo, a great warrior and leader of Umuofia village. The novel is divided into 3 parts. Part 1 introduces Okonkwo and Igbo society. Okonkwo is a famous wrestler. He defeated Amalinze the cat. He has 3 wives, several children, and many yam farms. He is a respected elder. But Okonkwo has a flaw. He is afraid of being weak like his father, Unoka. Unoka was lazy and indebted. He died a shameful death. Okonkwo is determined to be his opposite. He is hardworking, fierce, and violent. He beats his wives. He almost shoots his daughter. He participates in the killing of Ikemefuna, a boy who was given to the village as a peace settlement. Ikemefuna calls Okonkwo father. Okonkwo is warned not to kill the boy, but he strikes the killing blow because he is afraid of being seen as weak. Part 2 describes Okonkwo's exile. During a funeral, Okonkwo's gun accidentally explodes and kills the son of an elder. This is a crime against the earth goddess. Okonkwo and his family are exiled to his mother's village for 7 years. His yam farm is destroyed. His wealth is lost. He must start over. While Okonkwo is in exile, European missionaries arrive in Umuofia. They build a church. They convert some villagers. They criticize Igbo religion and customs. The white men also establish a government. They imprison village leaders. Igbo society begins to fall apart. Part 3 describes Okonkwo's return and his death. Okonkwo returns to Umuofia after 7 years. He finds that much has changed. Many people have converted to Christianity. The missionaries have established a court and a prison. The village leaders are humiliated by the white men. Okonkwo wants to fight. He beheads a white messenger, but the other villagers do not support him. They allow the messenger to escape. Okonkwo realizes that his society has fallen apart. He kills himself by hanging. Suicide is an abomination in Igbo culture. Okonkwo's body is left in the forest. The white district commissioner decides to write about Okonkwo in his book. He calls it The Pacification of the Primitive Tribes of the Lower Niger. Now let me explain the major characters in Things Fall Apart. The protagonist is Okonkwo. He is a great warrior and respected elder. He is hard-working, courageous, and proud. But he is also violent, impatient, and afraid of weakness. His tragic flaw is his fear of being like his father. This leads him to make terrible decisions. He kills Ikemefuna. He beats his wives. He cannot adapt to change. He commits suicide. Okonkwo is a tragic hero. He is great, but he has a flaw that leads to his downfall. Nwoi is Okonkwo's oldest son. He is sensitive and thoughtful. He does not like violence. Okonkwo despises him. Nwoya is attracted to Christianity. The missionaries offer him a new family. He converts and changes his name to Isaac. He abandons his father and Igbo culture. Ikemefuna is a boy given to Umuofia as a peace settlement. He lives with Okonkwo's family. He becomes like a brother to Nwai. Okonkwo grows fond of him. But Okonkwo kills Ikemefuna because he is afraid of being seen as weak. Ikemefuna's death breaks Nwoye's spirit. Unoka is Okonkwo's father. He was lazy and indebted. He loved music and conversation. He died of swelling disease and was left in the forest. Okonkwo is ashamed of him. But Unoka was not evil. He was just different. The district commissioner is a minor character. He represents the colonial power. He does not understand Igbo culture. He plans to write a book about his experiences. He dismisses Okonkwo's death as one line. He is arrogant and ignorant. Now let me explain the setting of Things Fall Apart. The novel is set in Umuofia, a group of 9 villages in southeastern Nigeria. The time is the late 19th century, just before and during the arrival of European colonizers. The physical setting includes the village, the forest, the marketplace, and the yam farms. The forest is a sacred place. Evil spirits live there. The marketplace is where the village gathers for ceremonies and decisions. The social setting is Igbo society. The Igbo have a complex religion, legal system, and social structure. They have 9 villages. They have oracles, elders, and titles. They have a rich culture of proverbs, stories, and festivals. The emotional setting changes throughout the novel. In the beginning, the mood is confident and stable. The village is prosperous. As the novel progresses, the mood becomes fearful and uncertain. The village is falling apart. Now let me explain the themes in Things Fall Apart. The main theme is the clash between tradition and change. Igbo society has its own traditions and values. Colonialism brings new religion, new government, and new laws. Some people embrace change, others resist. Okonkwo resists change and is destroyed. Nwoi embraces change and survives. Achebe does not say that either choice is completely right or wrong. He shows the complexity of the situation. Another theme is the danger of inflexibility. Okonkwo cannot adapt. He is rigid. He cannot accept that his society is changing. His inflexibility leads to his death. The novel suggests that survival requires flexibility. Another theme is the complexity of Igbo culture. Achebe wrote Things Fall Apart to correct European stereotypes of Africa. He shows that Igbo society is not primitive. It has laws, religion, art, and social systems. The Igbo have proverbs, stories, and ceremonies. They have a system of justice. They have a balanced gender system. Men and women have different roles, but both are valued. Another theme is the role of fate and individual responsibility. Okonkwo's downfall is partly caused by his own actions. He kills Ikemefuna. He accidentally kills a boy at a funeral. But his downfall is also caused by forces beyond his control. The colonial invasion is not his fault. The novel explores the tension between fate and free will. Another theme is masculinity and femininity. Okonkwo has a rigid view of masculinity. He believes men must be strong, violent, and successful. He believes women are weak. He beats his wives. He despises his sensitive son. But Igbo culture values both masculine and feminine qualities. The earth goddess is female. The oracle is female. Some of the most important ceremonies are performed by women. Okonkwo's rigid view leads him to reject important parts of his culture. Now let me explain the style and literary devices in Things Fall Apart. Achebe uses simple, clear English. He also incorporates Igbo words and phrases. He provides explanations for the reader. This creates an authentic voice. He uses proverbs extensively. Proverbs are an important part of Igbo oral tradition. For example, a proverb says, "A toad does not run in the daytime for nothing." This means that there is always a reason for unusual behavior. Another proverb says, "A child's fingers are not scalded by a piece of hot yam which his mother puts into his palm." This means that a child is protected from harm by his mother. The proverbs add wisdom and depth to the novel. Achebe uses symbolism. The locusts that descend on Umuofia symbolize the white colonizers. The locusts come in a swarm. They cover everything. They seem harmless at first, but they destroy the crops. Similarly, the missionaries seem harmless at first, but they destroy Igbo culture. The drum and the cannon symbolize the unity of the village. When the drum beats, the village comes together. When the cannon fires, the village is at war. The breaking of the drum symbolizes the breaking of the community. The fire symbolizes Okonkwo's destructive passion. He is called a roaring flame, but fire also destroys what it touches. Okonkwo destroys his own family and himself. Achebe uses irony. The district commissioner plans to write a book called The Pacification of the Primitive Tribes of the Lower Niger. He calls the book Pacification, meaning to bring peace, but colonialism was violent and destructive. The title is ironic. Achebe also uses contrast. He contrasts Okonkwo with his father, Unoka. He contrasts Okonkwo with his son, Nwoye. He contrasts Igbo society before colonialism with Igbo society after colonialism. These contrasts highlight the changes that occur. Now let me explain how to answer exam questions on Things Fall Apart. A common exam question asks you to discuss the character of Okonkwo. Here is a sample answer. Okonkwo is the protagonist of Things Fall Apart. He is a great warrior and respected leader. He is hardworking and courageous. But he has a tragic flaw. He is afraid of being weak, like his father. This fear leads him to kill Ikemefuna, to beat his wives, and to be inflexible. When colonialism comes, Okonkwo cannot adapt. He commits suicide. Okonkwo is a tragic hero. His greatness is undone by his flaw. Another exam question asks you to discuss the theme of tradition versus change. Here is your answer. Things Fall Apart explores the clash between tradition and change. Igbo society has its own traditions, laws, and religion. Colonialism brings new religion, new government, and new laws. Some characters, like Okonkwo, resist change. They want to preserve tradition. Other characters, like Nwoye, embrace change. They convert to Christianity. Achebe shows that both choices have consequences. Resistance leads to Okonkwo's death. Adaptation leads to Nwoye's survival. The novel does not simply condemn colonialism. It also criticizes certain aspects of Igbo culture. The novel asks what is worth preserving and what should change. Another exam question asks you to analyze the role of women in Things Fall Apart. Here is your answer. Women in Things Fall Apart have important roles. They are mothers, farmers, and priestesses. The earth goddess is female. The oracle of the hills and caves is female. Women participate in ceremonies and decision-making. However, women also suffer violence. Okonkwo beats his wives. A woman is killed in a neighboring village, which leads to war. The novel shows both the power of women and their vulnerability. Achebe does not idealize Igbo gender relations. He shows them realistically. Here is what you need to take away. Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe is the most famous African novel. The plot follows Okonkwo, a great warrior whose fear of weakness leads to his downfall. The novel depicts Igbo society before and after colonialism. Major characters include Okonkwo, Nwoye, Ikemefuna, Unoka, and the district commissioner. The setting is late 19th century Nigeria. Themes include tradition versus change, inflexibility, the complexity of Igbo culture, fate versus free will, and gender. Achebe uses proverbs, symbolism, irony, and contrast. Understanding Things Fall Apart is essential for your literature exams. Practice these concepts. When you have them down, move to topic 10.